Everyone, please welcome our very first guest on Raised on Sports, the famous Barrett Carter.
For sure, the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life.
So what's the nickname? Agent Zero?
Performing on the biggest stage in front of the coaches that I might be playing for in the future.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Welcome back to a very, very special episode of Raised on Sports. I'm Reagan, the daughter of this father-daughter podcast.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jason here, the dad.
We have our very first guest, Barrett Carter, which we are very excited about. Are you ready to bring him in, Dad?
Let's bring in the guy.
Everyone, please welcome our very first guest on Raised on Sports, the famous Barrett Carter. He is a former football player at the Clemson football team. He was a linebacker. He had played the most snaps ever by a linebacker at Clemson. He was number 0. This is Barrett Carter. Everyone.
Yeah. Hello. Glad to be here. Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. Me and Barrett met in a class like a couple semesters ago. Yeah. He was the best. I think we had a project together, but I'm glad to introduce him to my dad.
Yes, sir.
Very nice to meet you.
Great to meet you as well.
So I'll go ahead with, I guess, just the first question. Just tell me a little about yourself. I think Reagan might know a little bit, but where are you from? What kind of your what got you to Clemson? That kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm originally born in Chicago, Illinois. Really, like majority of my family still lives there and like scattered around the Southeast. But born in Chicago, moved to Swanee, Georgia when I was 7 years old. Just if you know anything about Chicago, the weather's not too great, and just decided there would be just a better life, better opportunity for our family, me, my sister, and my parents. So we moved to Georgia, and grew up playing baseball and basketball, and didn't play football at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. Ironic. Then I saw the kids wearing their jerseys to the school on Friday, and I just got super jealous of that. So yeah, I was like, yeah, I gotta start playing football. So went out the next year. Didn't play defense really at all. Just played a lot of offense because I was this size when I was in the second or third grade. So I mean, I was pretty big, but played a bunch of offense. And my freshman year, they switched me to defense, and I was devastated. Like I literally almost quit football.
Oh,
wow. I was pissed off. I'm like, no, I am a running back. I am a receiver. I'm not a linebacker. But it worked out because the next day I got my first scholarship offer. So the Lord works in mysterious ways, and I didn't believe it until that. So, went through the recruiting process and ultimately chose Clemson. Just what I'm big on is family and relationships, and that's what Clemson's about. Yeah. And also, they just told me what I needed to hear and not what I wanted to hear. A bunch of schools were coming to me saying, like, you're going to come in, you're going to be the guy day one, you're going to start. And, like, that sounds cool when you're 16, 17, but I was thinking about, like, the long-term version of myself, and I didn't want that. I wanted to earn whatever I got. So, chose Clemson, and, here I am today.
Fantastic. So you like the hitting part of it since being on defense now, right?
I grew to like it. I did not initially like it. I was kind of soft to begin with, but now I've kind of flipped the switch in my head, and I love it now.
That's so awesome to hear. I mean, it's funny that you said that you played baseball and basketball kind of growing up, and I was going to ask you if football was always your passion, but do you ever miss those two sports, or do you ever wish like, oh, what if, or is like football, once you turned football, like that was your only one?
I miss how, I don't want to say I don't want to say how nice those sports are, but obviously we know football is a pretty violent sport. So I kind of miss that aspect of like not throwing my body against another grown man. But this is my passion now. It's a sport I love. It's a sport I'll love for the rest of my life. So I think I made the right choice.
And you're obviously doing pretty well. It's obviously paying off for you a little bit.
a little bit.
Totally. Well, as a high school basketball coach myself, what position did you play
in basketball?
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I was this height or this size when I was younger. So I was like I was like the center, and then I got to high school, and I'm like, okay, I'm not 7 feet tall. So I was mainly playing a little just shooting guard, small forward. But I couldn't shoot at all. I was just a defender, really, and
All right.
I'm gonna give you a few fouls and pull me out of the game. But that was like my game, how I played.
Dennis Rodman style. There you go.
Exactly,
All
exactly.
right.
Well, I'm
Hey,
happy to hear that.
so what's the nickname? Agent Zero?
Some may say.
So why the number 0?
So after I committed to Clemson, my mom's birthday, May 19th, 2020,
Oh,
and I texted Coach Sweeney like right after. I'm like, what single? I wore number 1 in high school, so I'm like, what single digit numbers are available? And he said 0 was the only one. And
oh,
I'm big on like the look good, feel good, play good. Like I live by that. So
Okay.
I'm like let's go with 0.
okay.
I was the first one at Clemson to wear it. Hopefully
Yeah.
I wore it pretty well, but I
You
just
did. Don't worry.
thank you, thank you. I just wanted a single digit, and 0 happened to be the only one available. So I was like, let's go with it.
Where
All
did the
right.
nickname come from?
I mean, I guess I started making plays, and they just nicknamed me Agent Zero.
That's
So
got to be a player, right? A former
yeah,
a teammate did that one.
yeah. I mean, I didn't choose that nickname; it was kind of given to me. So I mean, it's not a bad nickname to have, I would say.
No, not at all. Do you want to keep, if you end up playing in the NFL, would you want to keep the number 0? Kind of keep the tradition going if you can?
Absolutely. Like
Okay.
I've gotten, humbly speaking, I've gotten so used to like signing stuff as BC number 0, and it,
Okay.
it'd be. I think it would be kind of odd to write like BC number 58, or no offense to my number 58s in the world, but just like it would just be a big switch up for me. So if I could keep the 0 going, that would be cool. But we'll see what happens.
We will definitely see. I do have to mention, because obviously I go to Clemson, obviously huge Clemson fan, huge Dabo fan. And you said that he kind of told you not what you wanted to hear, but kind of what is true and what's true about Clemson. So I kind of just want to ask, like, tell me about how Dabo was a coach, and tell me about like the lessons he really taught you, because he is just the best, as everyone knows.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. There, like having Coach Sweeney as a head coach. It's like you're having a coach. Uh, Uncle, preacher. Like you have all the things in one. But the main thing that I would take away from him, like I said, there's so many. I would say how you do anything is how you do everything,
Oh,
and
good.
just like everything that you do in your life, it all aligns. Like if I'm gonna be lackadaisical in school, I'm gonna be lackadaisical on the field. Or so just
Mhm.
all the stuff like that. If I'm gonna show up late to tutoring, I'm probably gonna show up late to our meeting. So I would just say how you do anything is how you do everything, just because it applies to everything in life. And just it teaches you to stay consistent with, like through whatever you're doing, like to be consistent. So that's probably my favorite. We call it Sweeneyism. That's probably my favorite Sweeneyism, I would say.
Heck of a guy, heck of a coach.
For
I know
sure.
a lot of people a lot of people all around the nation just idolize him. He's great.
Yeah.
You got a favorite highlight or memory of your 4 years at Clemson?
Wow.
I'm sure there's a lot, and I'm sure this year brought you a lot. But is there anything that sticks out?
I would say my sophomore year against Louisville. I I hurdled someone, and then
Yep.
and then I got a sack, and it was just cool because like early in the year, I hurdled another player, and like there was a picture of it. Like it was a really cool picture, but I didn't get the sack. So like ultimately, me hurdling him didn't do anything. So it was cool 'cause just how I built up to it. So like that earlier that game, they were doing a great job of blocking us. Like they were cutting us, they were diving at our legs the whole game. And I told one of our other linebackers, I'm like, I'm gonna jump over him if he tries to do that again. So I
Oh,
kind of
good.
like I kind of like spoke it into existence, and it was just really cool to like I kind of like saw it before it even happened, and then I actually got to do it, and I actually got the sack this time. So
Nice,
that was probably my favorite play that I've made.
I
nice.
remember that game actually so specifically because I was working that game with marketing, like on the
Yeah,
field, and I think it was like right by the end zone when
yeah,
when you're hurdling the guy.
yeah,
It was great. I remember that
So
yeah.
so
when
specifically.
we're watching the ESPN draft and they got to show highlights, hopefully that's one of your highlight clips.
I I really
Yeah,
hope it is.
yeah.
It was from 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I mean I don't know if they'll show a clip that far back, but hopefully they do.
Totally. I mean, we'll kind of now shift into your next future steps into the NFL. But I do want to ask, because you probably could have gone for the draft after your third year at Clemson, what ultimately made you stay? And like, what went into that decision process of you just staying at Clemson versus declaring for the draft?
Yeah, it was for sure the hardest decision I've ever had to make in my life. But I did a lot of reflecting. Like I thought about what we had accomplished as a team, just
Mhm.
being at Clemson, and just like selfishly, I thought about like what I had accomplished, and I just wasn't satisfied at all. And like my whole life, I've been a finisher in everything that I've done. Like no matter if I was on a terrible baseball team and I wanted to quit during the season, my parents wouldn't let me. Like I finished it, and I've been a finisher my whole life, and I knew I would have been ready if I did leave, but I would have had regret. Like I would have felt like there was
Yeah.
still meat left on the bone. And I'm big on like living life with no regrets. So
Oh,
I decided to come back and just truly just exhaust everything I had and, give everything I have for the school, for that team, for Clemson. And I can truly say I did that. Ultimately, a national championship was at the forefront of those goals and, we didn't do that, but I have no regrets. Like I feel complete. I feel like I can officially walk away from Clemson with nothing left in the tank, and just knowing that I gave everything I had. So, and that's all I could ever ask for. So, I mean, that was really what went into that decision. But it was so hard to decide.
oh, I can only
Yeah.
imagine. I mean, you did end up with a good ACC championship win. I was
Yeah,
there at that game. With crazy to be a part of that.
craziest
Um,
game.
and also, you made it to the first 12-team playoffs, so you did make
Yeah,
history in that point.
yeah. It was all right.
Still some sour taste. I sense
Yeah,
there.
a little bit, a little bit.
What'd you think of that the 12-team playoff just as a player's perspective? Did the guys like it?
Yeah, the guys loved it. I think, having home playoff games was really
Hmm.
exciting. I think going on the road too, like obviously we lost, but like going on the road into an environment where, nobody wants you to win, nobody likes you, and trying to pull out a win. I thought that was super cool. And the fact that it was a playoff game, like you win, it's win or go home. So I mean I thought the stakes were higher, and I love that about how college football's going with this 12-team playoff. And hopefully Clemson can take it all the way this year. But the guys loved it. The guys love this
Good.
new format and like where it's heading. So yeah, I mean, it was all good things to say about it.
So going into that SMU game, the ACC championship, were you guys all, hey, if we win this, we're in? Kind of like that was a playoff, like the play-in game as a March Madness has.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to take games day by day. Like
Sure.
each game is a season of its own. You have to treat it that way. But we obviously knew that like the stakes were pretty high. Like we win this, we're in the playoffs. We lose this, we're in whatever
In the
bowl
bowl
game it is.
game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, we obviously knew the stakes were high, but we try not to look too far ahead because this game will expose you if you do that. And
That's
we've seen that, but we definitely knew how high the stakes were going
good.
into it.
That's good insight. Good.
Oh, I'm sure I can't imagine being in that position with that much pressure. But
Right.
kudos to you guys. I could not imagine. But I do, obviously, like I was saying, you're going into the draft. How has that process been for you? Like I know you mentioned to me you've been training in California.
Yep.
So kind of tell me about that and how you're preparing from a player's perspective.
So I've been in California for the past 3 months training, Orange County, Santa Ana.
Mhm.
So I've been out there training, and
What what school you at? Where you at?
it's a place called Mark One Performance.
Okay. Yeah.
So I literally the place that we were staying, we just had to go up to the roof to work out. So it
Oh,
was super
awesome.
it was super convenient. But it was a great experience. Literally just waking up and, chasing your dreams every single day. Like
Yeah, really
here,
cool.
yeah, here in school, like obviously we had all the extra, like the school, the meetings, the study hall, the tutoring. Like it was cool to just be able to wake up and just do football and just
Mm.
worry about football. Thankfully I graduated, so I never have to come back to school again. But no,
Congrats.
thank you. The experience was great. I really wouldn't trade it for the world. Just like I said, just waking up and just doing what I love every single day. So it was fun. Definitely. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever live in California. Just everything is so expensive, but
Yes, it is.
but no, it was cool. The food out there is awesome. I was 15 minutes from the mountains, 15 minutes from the beach. Like you can't beat that. So it was
Yeah.
a great experience. So it was fun.
So what's like right now? Just give me kind of just a general typical day for you right now. wake up and
Yeah. So wake up at 8 o'clock. I'm training in Clemson, training at the facility. So go to the facility, get breakfast, work out at 9. Workout is anywhere from an hour and a half to 3 hours. So it varies. I know that that's a pretty large window, but workout from 9 till whenever. Get some recovery in, eat lunch, and then come home. And then I've just had like meetings with teams and Zooms with teams and stuff like that. And then I'll probably take a nap, and I'm just free for the rest of the day. I play
okay.
video games later in the day. But that's really it. So all my stuff's really in the morning, have some meetings in the afternoon, and then I'm just chilling for the rest of the day.
All right.
Got to go on these important interviews like this podcast, obviously, for the rest of the day.
Hey, I'm having a great time with y'all. I'm so glad to be
Well, we're
here.
glad you're here. I know Pro Day was just a week ago about at Clemson, and all 32 coaches from all 32 teams came, which is amazing. Just tell me about how the Pro Day went, and obviously doing it with other Clemson players. I know Jake Birdingstool is going to the draft as well, who are also preparing for the draft.
Pro Day was amazing. I remember like my freshman year, I went to watch Pro Day just like I was, and then it's like fast forward 4 years. Now I'm the one participating in Pro Day, so
That's so awesome.
it was super fun. Just performing on the biggest stage in front of the coaches that I might be playing for in the future. So it was fun. Just go out there, compete, showcase my talents, showcase my athleticism a little bit, but I didn't. It could have been really easy to make it seem bigger than something that actually was, and that's what I didn't try to do. Obviously it's a big deal, and I'm not trying to downplay it, but at the end of the day, this is the game that I've loved like my whole life. So that's my approach on the field. Like, don't make any opportunity or any moment too big. Like, just go out there and have fun, and just be me, and that's all I can be. So, yeah, but it was a great experience for sure.
All right. So, yeah. So, I mean, I can already tell. I mean, I never met you, but I can tell your work ethic is bar none. So you have an amazing work ethic. And so here we are about a month away from the draft. What's your mindset right now? Like, are you just locked in on the draft or on the training? What's your mindset leading up to next month?
Yeah, really just get in the best shape of my life. And the thing about it, like, I'm not doing anything spectacular now that I'm going to the NFL. Like, the same training that I've been doing, like, literally since I started training in the 7th grade, like, I'm still doing that now. And, obviously I'm heading into a whole new world of football, like, a field full of grown men. But, I'm big on just like what got me here is gonna keep carrying me on through the rest of my life. So I'm just gonna keep doing what I've been doing my whole life, and just keep trying to get 1% better every single day, and we'll see where I end up.
Love it.
We're all excited for you here at Clemson. This is kind of more of a fun question, but in a perfect world, right? What would be your team of choice?
No.
I know this is
every agent tells them, don't answer that question.
Don't jinx it, of course.
No, how about this? I got one for you. How about did you have a favorite NFL team growing up?
I did growing up, but it's not my team anymore.
Oh.
I'm from Chicago, so I grew up watching the Bears. Devin Hester was my favorite player, but after visiting the West Coast, after living in Chicago, I think I'm a Southeast baby. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Whatever team wants me, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna give my all. But the Southeast I think I'm gonna call that home in the future. But like I said, whoever wants me, I'm gonna go do my thing regardless. So we'll see.
Well, we'll take that in a month. We'll see.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for you. And thank you so much. Do you have any more questions, Dad?
No, man, you've been outstanding. I mean, you're a heck of an athlete, and now getting to kind of meet you, you just seem like even a better person. So I appreciate it, and we really wish you the best. And I'll be definitely tuning in more to the NFL draft.
Yes, sir.
And the future of Mr. Carter. So thank you very much, man.
Thank y'all for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much. And I hope to have more guests on in the future. I mean, Barrett, you really set the standard. You are so awesome.
Yeah, geez, I don't know how I wouldn't want to follow this.
Oh no, stop.
All right. Thanks, guys. This is Raised on Sports. Bye.
Bye.